What up, Whiskey Ginger fans? Welcome back to the show. It's the first time joining the show. Welcome to the show. We got a good one for you today. Like my man Steve Harvey done say, it's Kumail Nanjiani. What a name you could yell from the rafters, eh? He's on tour. I'm on tour. AndrewSantino.com is where you're going to get those tickets, ladies and gents. Folks of all kinds. Come see me. I'm all over the place. I'm in Indiana. I'm in Ohio. I'm in Michigan. I'm in Illinois. I'm in California. I'm in, everywhere. I'm all over the place. I'm doing 26 cities, and we're adding shows and adding cities as we go. Go to AndrewSantino.com for those tickets. AndrewSantino.com.
In here, we pour whisk, 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 whisk.
You were that creature in the ginger beard.
Sturdy and ginger.
Like vampires, the ginger gene is a curse.
Gingers are beautiful.
You owe me $5 for the whiskey and $75 for the horse.
Gingers? Oh, hell no.
This whiskey is excellent.
Ginger. I like gingers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Whiskey Ginger. My guest today is one of my favorite people on earth. I say that for all my guests, but I mean it once again today. It is Kumail Nanjiani. Man, you could have been an MMA fighter with that name.
Yeah, but not with anything else that's about me.
Well, body.
No, not really.
Strength.
These are useless.
You think those muscles are all for show?
They're decorative. They're like beach muscles.
Those are beach
They
muscles?
don't do anything, yeah.
It's kind of like some of the tchotchkes my wife buys for some of the tables in our hallway.
Like little shells and stuff.
What is that for? What is all that stuff?
It's pointless.
You have all this crap right in your house?
That's what this is.
That's what that is.
We do have a bunch of crap in our house. We have like weird round discs made of stone.
We
and
have those.
paintings on them.
We have those. What is that for?
Well, our interior decorator showed them to us, and we were like, how much are they? And she said, and they were so expensive. We're like, no. And she's like, they're actually from a very important artist.
Oh, my God. And that sinks you? You're like, I guess.
Okay, if it's an important artist.
Yeah.
Well, she would do this thing, where she'd be like, which of these pillows do you like? And you'd be like, I guess I like that one. And then she's like, okay, so these are 200 and this is 5,000. It's like, well, tell us that. I don't like it that much more.
Lead with that part.
Yeah.
Also, those are pillows you probably will never use.
No.
They just sit there on the thing.
Yeah.
That was a big point of contention when we moved, and McCone helped me move, and we had a new couch, and we had a whole new couch because the other couch at the house didn't fit in this house. So we move, we get the couch, and then she's like, I want these pillows this is what she tells my wife. I want these pillows to be accent pillows depending on what kind of flower arrangements you have in the kitchen that day. And I was
So
like,
change the accent pillows.
that's
based
not
on
even, that would never exist in my house.
Do you have different flower arrangements
No,
every day?
she goes every week. Go to Trader Joe's. They have a great collection of flowers, which they do, by the way, for the record. Trader Joe's has a great. When you walk in, you see the flowers right when you
You a
walk
big
in.
flower guy?
You know me, Kumail. You know me for too long. I'm a flower guy. No, but it's just like it's such a beautiful, and it is.
You do smell nice.
Oh, thank you. But I wish I could get into it. My wife, same way. She's like, I don't have the time of day to do that.
No.
But the woman's like, just grab something when you go to Trader Joe's when you're grabbing something, groceries. And it does make sense.
It does. It's nice to have flowers.
It is nice. Well, you know what we do now? We go, she gets eucalyptus, and we put it in the shower. You know who got me into this? Jermaine Fowler.
Really?
Jermaine Fowler says he'll go to get, when we were in Australia,
eucalyptus.
he get eucalyptus and he puts it in just like a vase or a bowl.
Yeah.
And you put it where like the water will
great.
like spritz it maybe off your back. It smells so good.
I'm a big smells guy.
Me too.
When I go to a farmer's market, I'm picking up whatever weird soaps that lady has made.
That soap lady.
I cannot imagine it's actually doing any cleaning.
No,
but it
no, no,
smells
no,
good.
no.
There's like chunks in there. There's like little like fennel seeds. It should not. It's clogging up my shower drain. The problem is, have you tried a shower bomb? You know what that is?
Just no, I know a bath bomb.
Yeah, so a shower bomb is like, it's like a ball of some sort of soap thing, and you're supposed to chemicals. You put it, but they're not strong enough because you put them on the floor. The water's supposed to like fill up the whole thing. Technology just ain't there yet. We
not
can't
there.
do it. It just melts slowly, and you gotta like with your foot shove it down the drain.
You have to push it down.
I get really excited about it, and it just shower bombs don't work. But I like if I go to a mall, I love going to malls. I go into a Yankee Candle store. I'll spend 20, 30 minutes in there just smelling whatever.
You're a
they've come
Yankee
up with.
boy.
Well, they're
I didn't see you as a Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Their apple candle
The apple one does smell good.
smells like an apple.
That's why they put it by the front. That's always a big seller.
They really figured out the apple.
Yeah, the apple.
Everything else, they're like, I don't know. This one's called like Cotton Mornings. I don't know what that is.
It is. It's
They
like
have that stuff, yeah.
Sweet linen
Yeah.
or fresh linen, cotton mornings. There's always like a Cape Cod beach house. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Very smart.
exactly.
They're actually very smart. They know what they're doing. I wish I could get into flower. I wish I could just grab flowers when I go to Trader Joe's, when I go to pick up something for my wife to have new ones at the house. I don't feel like it because it's a thing. It's also, they die so fast.
They're hard to transport. They're not like, you
That's
can't
right.
just like shove them in a thing. You know, they require their own. You can't put it in a
I have to
receptacle.
drive and hold the bouquet because I don't want it to smash in
Why
my
you
seat.
just hold it out the window, buddy?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Really easy.
Well, that's what my dog. I hold my dog out. Do you have dogs?
We have one cat.
Okay, same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. Just
sort of.
different. Just different. Yeah,
Same but different.
same but totally different.
How long have you had your dog?
She's going to be 7, which is so funny because just the other day in the neighborhood, a similar sized dog, medium sized dog, is very slowly walking up to my dog, and my dog is a lunatic. He knows she's like chaotically fun. She loves people. She could be stolen so easily. She could go with anybody. If somebody was like, "Come here," she's gone.
Gone.
And she goes up to this dog and she loves people. She loves dogs. She's obsessed with other dogs. She's like got this smile all the time when she sees other dogs. And the woman goes, "How old is your dog? Is she a little puppy?" And I go, "She's 7. She's almost 7." And she was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, that's not a good reaction.
Yeah, well, and I was like, "Wow, she's just excited."
Yeah.
But her energy is that of a puppy, but people are shocked when because she is a little too, she's fun. She's a party dog. She's a party dog.
Yeah.
She likes to, she doesn't hide. She likes to be out in
She
public.
wears her heart on her sleeve.
She likes to show off.
Yeah.
Your cat hides.
My cat doesn't really hide.
No, is out?
No, my cat's out and about.
All my friends with cats, they hide. They're hidden when I go over their house.
No, my cat's out and about. She's a pretty social cat.
Do we have her name?
Yeah, Bagel.
Oh, what a name.
I don't want human names for animals. Give me
Right.
things I can eat or items I like,
Interesting. The eat part I don't get, but yeah, I understand.
The what part?
The eat part. Just say stuff I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's food. You're not going to name it.
Croissant, like a cat.
Oh, Croissant the cat is nice.
Yeah.
Fagua the cat. Come,
Weird.
Fagua.
Name a duck Fagua?
That's so
Is
mean.
that how you say it? Fagua?
Fagua.
Fagua?
Well, I think it's fragua. Fragua.
I struggle with it. Have you had it?
It's repulsive.
I struggle with fragua.
We had it in France one time, and I was like, "This is disgusting. I don't ever." And then when you learn how they make it, you're like,
It's just
"It's
tough
repulsive.
to justify.
It's awful. It's
I
awful."
mean, listen, I'm a meat eater. I understand. I think being vegetarian is morally more defensible. I find ways to justify it to myself, but what they do to those fucking ducks,
It's
I
insane.
don't know why I'm laughing. It's insane.
It's like it's not even. It's so gross. It's funny where you're like, I can't believe this is real. It looks like what was the movie? What was the Mike Judge movie about the future? Yeah, Idiocracy. It looks like an Idiocracy scene where you're like, they don't force feed the animals. Like, do they really?
With a stick.
It's disgusting.
And then it goes to like the fanciest restaurants.
It's so awful. No, I had it once, and then I was like, I don't even like I just did not like the flavor.
I don't
of
like
it.
the idea of it. I don't like the texture of it.
I'm a big texture guy. Like, what food can you not have because of the texture alone?
Well, definitely that. I also struggle with the texture of mushrooms. I think that
Really?
texture, the guppy, gloopy, whatever, soft but hard, whatever that
Guppy,
is.
gloopy.
I don't got room in my life for that. It's like spongy.
You're right, though. It's a thing you had to get used to. I used to hate them, but then I learned to love the flavor of them.
I like the flavor of them. So if they're in like a soup or something, the flavor they impart into the liquid is good. Same with olives. I can't fuck with olives.
Whoa, I love
Weird
olives.
texture.
What about tomato?
Took me a while to bring tomato.
I'm not there.
Took me a long time.
I still
They
throw
make
them
a
away.
sandwich real wet,
Yeah, soppy. I don't want soppy meat.
Yeah.
And I just don't like tomatoes because they look delicious and they taste bland.
Yeah.
There's not much there.
There's not much there.
Well-
I mean, and also, you go to like Italian food, everything's too much tomato. Like, vary it up, guys.
Yeah, slow down on the tomato.
Like when the Italians discovered pasta, they were like, this is going to be all of our food. That's it. It's just different
rest of
shapes
time.
of the same thing.
Uh-huh. Even
Yeah.
pizza is pasta. They're
Pizza's-
like, we'll just make that also that. It's all the same.
I am going to say something, and I have no idea if it's true.
Oh boy, here we go.
Isn't it one of those things that pizza was invented somewhere else and then Italy took it? I don't know.
It sounds right. He'll look it up, but it does sound. This sounds like something I've also heard that later we go, oh, that was a fun rumor that
Yeah.
that we just believed for long enough.
Could you also look up if they got pasta from like the Chinese people?
Because I think China noodles for sure was first.
There's
Chinese civilization outdates
right.
Ita-
so
it's-
if they got spaghetti, someone went over, brought it back, and it was like, now all of our food is going to be this.
Yeah, so modern pizza was invented in Naples, Italy in the 18th or 19th century, but pizza's history can go back even further to Egyptians, Romans, and Greeks.
Egyptians have been making pizza.
You ever had yourself a good Egyptian pizza? Huh? Very good. You never had an Egyptian pizza?
No.
What is that? Pita? What is that?
They pile the cheese in little pyramids up on the pizza. It's delicious.
Oh, they
You never
love
had that?
pyramids there, don't they?
Little Egyptian pizza? No, nothing could be where it's from, ever. Nothing is where it's from.
You know what? I have an idea for a show I want to do. I want to do a travel food show. Because if you look at like, you know where I'm from, Pakistan? If you look at like, if you go east, you go to China, there's Chinese food, but Thai food is sort of like mixed between Indian food and Chinese food.
Right.
And then you start going west, you go into Africa. Like East Africa is a lot like Indian food, like sambusa is like samosa, which is what we have. And it's all because of the spice trade. And so I want to like travel that part of the world and trace the spice trade.
Trace the spice.
Trace the spice. Yeah.
Which is a new show on Cops.
Yeah, Trace the Spice.
Trace the Spice.
And just sort of see how like, the food moved around.
It's very smart. I'll tell you where it definitely didn't go is Scotland. I just got back from there.
Did you have haggis?
Yeah.
I had haggis.
They have no idea about flavor up there. It's wild. It's remarkable. It's like
I do think fries with vinegar is a pretty good idea.
Sure, but I think that's the Brits.
Okay.
I attribute that more to the Brits.
All right.
The Scots, it's remarkable how England is right there, right?
Yes.
And because of their history, not so good, but they have a lot of good Indian food and
Yes.
variants of Indian flavors.
Yes.
How did it not get north?
They're just, no.
It just didn't go up.
Yeah.
Because you go up there and you're like, hey, do you guys have any good Asian type spots or Indian spots or any? Not really. And you're like, nothing? Nothing. It's fish and chips or fish and chips.
Yeah, it's fish and chips. They love fish and chips.
I know, but give me some. There's no way the locals aren't like, because the young kids, you see young kids there. And when I travel, what always blows my mind is you see the youth and they look like the youth of America. Culturally, they have the same kind of
Yeah.
like attitude and wear, their clothing. And you're like, aren't they on the internet enough to be like, hey, we want some of the other shit now.
We want some of the other food that's
Yeah,
in
we've
the world.
discovered the whole world is a global economy. Can we get some of
Yeah.
the other cool shit that you guys have?
Where in Scotland were you?
All over the place, but northeast. I played St. Andrews golf course, and then I went all over the place.
Like for vacation?
Yeah, with some buddies. Yeah, we just did like a little boys trip. Little boys getaway for golf.
For golf. You're
Yeah.
a big golfer.
Big. Yeah, we have to have hobbies.
Who do you play with? Yeah, we do.
We have
It's
to have
no
hobbies.
problem.
I talked
Emily's
to
always like, you gotta get a hobby. She's trying to get me into like pottery.
no.
That's
That's
a
Seth
big
Rogen's thing.
barrier for entry.
But
yeah.
Seth does that.
I know.
Once a celebrity does something and it becomes kind of a new thing for them, another celebrity like you can't do that.
I don't want to be like known for that. I would just do it and not try and compete with that.
You wouldn't show it on the internet.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, how would I not show it on the internet?
That's what I
I'd
mean, though.
show
The
it on
moment you did, they'd be
internet.
like, Rogan does this.
This-
And he's got a company now based on it.
He does.
Yeah, he makes weed
I have some of that stuff. Yeah.
You do? His
Yeah.
like his vases and stuff?
Yeah.
He makes good stuff.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What he was saying that he talks to like real like professional potter people, and they say they like his stuff because he doesn't go in with any sort of preconceived notions about what a pot should look like.
Yeah, right. They have a very it's almost like they went to film school, pottery school.
Right.
It's like
and he's
embedded
just,
in them.
He's just making pottery from his dick,
Right. That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
That's truly where it comes from.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that pottery show on Netflix called oh, and I love it too. Not Forged in
I
Fire.
have not seen it.
It's a pottery competition show on Netflix.
The Great Pottery Throwdown?
Throwdown.
No,
Honestly, dude, go home and watch
are
that.
they pros?
One of my favorite thing I've ever seen. It's a bunch of like different variants of years of experience in the pottery world, and it's a great competition show, like the Great British Bake Off.
I love that show.
Well, this is the same. It's a parallel with pottery.
The big problem with Great British Bake Off.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it
go
if you
ahead.
don't.
What
I'm
is
going to
it?
say it.
Go ahead.
The changing of the hosting too much.
Well, sure.
Bothers me.
Okay, here's the thing. If you're watching like Drag Race, you get to experience what they're good at. You're seeing them dance, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you watch Project Runway, you see the clothes. You get to experience that. You don't get to taste the stuff on Great British Bake Off.
Right.
You just are like, I guess I'll take your word for it.
I bet it's good. It looks good.
Yeah, you can't really have an opinion on it beyond how it looks.
This is actually a genius idea. When the season drops, they send out little. Yep.
You know, I did befriend a couple of them online, and they said they'd send me stuff, and I just got scared giving them my address.
Right. We'll give them a P.O. box.
Yeah, just let it sit there.
Let it sit for a week. You're out of town. You're touring. When I come back, I will taste it. I promise.
Are you touring right now?
I go back out here very soon in like a week. I go to Chicago.
Where?
Our beloved Chicago. No, I'm going home to throw out the first pitch and sing the 7th-inning stretch at the Cubs game against the Yankees.
Wait, you're from Chicago?
Yes, dude. I started out here, though. That's why we never met back then.
When did you leave Chicago?
When I was 18 for college.
Oh,
And I
okay.
never went home. So when you guys were Chicago guys, you know, Bronger, you, Canane,
Pete Holmes. Hannibal.
half
TJ
of these guys
Miller.
aren't even from Chicago, which is very funny to
No,
me.
Hannibal is.
Yes.
But Pete Holmes moved there. TJ moved there. I moved there. Canane's from there.
Canane is, yeah.
Bronger's from there.
But you're that.
No, Bronger's from Portland.
Portland, yeah. That generation of Chicago guys, I all met when you guys were out here because I moved here after school and I started here.
It's a pretty crazy scene. Like when I think of like that we were all doing open mics together, so many people
It's awesome.
are like doing great.
Everyone you know is successful. Everyone from that crew, except for,
You don't know the names of the ones who aren't successful.
and I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to them.
Fuck them.
They mean
What are
nothing.
you doing? Where are you performing in Chicago?
Well, I'm not performing for a while.
you're
I'm
just
going home
doing
to see family and I'm doing the pitch, but I'm performing at the Chicago Theater January 11th. Chicago Theater.
Wow, you just remember your dates, huh?
Well, it's Chicago Theater. The other ones I couldn't tell you what the other ones are.
I'm gonna record. So I didn't do stand up for like, I say 10 years, really more like 8 years.
Yeah.
And I'm touring again. I'm gonna record my special next year in Chicago.
At
I know everyone does the Vic, but there's a reason they do the Vic. The Vic is like a great theater.
It's a phenomenal theater.
Yeah.
The other one we talked about at breakfast this morning was Talia Hall, which is in Pilsen. That's really cool. People like that. I think Canane did something there.
he did.
I'm almost positive.
He did.
But yeah,
I just love the Vic. I opened for Zach Galifianakis there in 2007.
never heard of him. But is he doing okay?
He's
that
a
guy?
beard guy.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
one of the beards of comedy.
Yeah, beardy guy.
It's just a wall of people, you know. It's like
It's very
the
vertical.
balconies are completely on top, so you're like it's fantastic.
It is a great venue. Have you played Chicago Theater?
I have not.
You
I
must.
actually haven't done. I mean, I haven't toured in so long. I haven't headlined in Chicago ever.
Well, get ready, bud.
How big is a Chicago theater? Like 2,500?
No. I'll tell you right now. Don't say it because I'll tell you right now. It is 3604.
Oh, big.
3604.
Man, that's awesome.
It is cool. This will be my
great.
5th or 6th time doing it. The first time I did it, I opened for Rogan years ago. And that was a big deal. And then the guy that worked there, who's no longer working there, which is so sad, he was like, "You'll be back. You'll do this on your own someday." And I was like, "Yeah, right."
And here
then
you
I
are.
did. Yeah, it was wild.
Isn't that awesome?
It was very cool. It was a very cool moment. I was sitting back there, and they could tell I was a little emotional because I was like, "You don't know what this means to me. I came here as a kid to see shows.
Yeah.
You know, like I think I saw Phantom of the Opera there when I was a kid with my grandmother, and I was like, Chicago theater was such a like, I don't know. As a kid, you're like, that's like a that's where fancy professionals go to put on
it's
shows.
Like gods and goddesses get on
Right,
stage.
and
to
then
put
I'm
on a
telling,
show.
fart jokes for an hour. It's all fart stuff.
I mean,
It's a
you
new
were
tour.
crying really hard the whole time.
While
Just
I'm telling fart
crying.
jokes?
Yeah, because it means so much to
It
you.
does.
Finally.
It does. How many dates are you doing?
I'm doing like 15 cities this year and then probably another 10 next year and then record in March.
Have you decided where the special will end up?
Yes.
Can we know or no?
I mean, I don't. It's really not exciting. They haven't announced it, so I guess I shouldn't say. Are you
Okay.
doing?
I'm
a
doing
special-
Hulu.
Okay.
I'm doing Hulu because
Me too.
Oh, you are? Okay, great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm doing Hulu, Netflix. No knock, but they offered to do another one with me, but Hulu was more enticing, I think, and I talked to Burr about it and a few other guys. And
Yeah, he's doing Hulu. Gaffigan's doing
Gaffigan,
Hulu.
Burr, Sebastian.
Yeah.
That would DeStefano, Roy Wood Jr.,
Yeah.
Jessica Kierson,
Otsko.
I mean, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I was like, this is great. Like,
Yeah.
I just was enticed that they give you a whole month.
Yeah, they give you.
It's a month instead of Netflix is like, hey, Tuesday, and you're like, oh my god,
There's
and
a
then on
bunch of
Thursday
them,
they're like,
yeah.
it's a new guy coming out on Thursday too.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, a more famous guy you put right after
Yeah.
me? Oh, okay. Well, thanks, I guess. For
They
2
say
days.
they'll promote each one, so yeah, I'm going with them.
Hell yeah, dude. So am I. I'm excited. I think it's good that the market's bigger than it ever was. I mean, let me give some context. Oh, by the way, on the way in, I think it's still up there. You should see. There is a old poster in the hallway of a show that we did many, many moons ago. Dave Clock, remember Dave? Of course you know Dave Clock. Well, you don't have to get it now, but he'll see it on the way out. But it's, I don't know what show it was.
Not Meltdown.
It wasn't a Meltdown show, I don't think. I think it was another show.
I think it was at the Elysian.
Oh, the Elysian, yeah. What was at the Elysian? What show was there?
I don't remember.
Either way, the history we have, Kumail and I. Kumail has always been a wonderful guy beyond being a great comic, and I mean this. You've always been a great dude, and you haven't changed except for your body. Everything else has been the same.
Yeah.
Your heart is still your heart's a little bit bigger, I would imagine, at this point.
Yeah, it's working real hard.
Yeah, it is. It's got to work harder.
I'm gonna die.
Just more blood.
Yeah.
More blood. That's all. But honestly, we met and you were doing Meltdown.
Where did we meet? Meltdown.
No, we met the first time. This is such a blast from the past. We talked about this the other night with somebody. Me and Brooks Wheelan were talking about it. We met at Gower Gulch Tiger Lily. What's up, Tiger Lily? Was the first time I met you.
Wow, those were like when I would visit LA. That's the show I would do.
Yeah, Tiger Lily.
When I moved here, I was Monday nights.
That was a
go
big
do that
deal.
Show. Yeah,
I remember going in the back of that room and just hanging out sometimes if I was in Hollywood.
that's right.
And it was like because Galifianakis would pop in. People would pop in, and that was at the height. That's when Zach was, as famous as he's ever been.
Everybody would do that.
It was so
There would be
cool.
like 25 comics on that show.
Yeah, but it was a great show.
Yeah.
And the crowd would stay the whole night. It'd be like a
Yeah.
3-hour show.
Yeah.
That's where we first met.
That's right.
And then I would come around Meltdown when you guys were doing Meltdown stuff. And
Yeah, you did our TV show.
yeah,
too.
that was fun. Yeah, it was wild.
You did that sketch.
yeah.
That the audience did not know what to do.
No clue. And still
you,
to this day, it was the darkest, weirdest.
You and Jamar,
Jamar
Neighbors.
Neighbors, yeah.
We still talk about it, Emily and I. We're like, that's so
It was
intense.
lunacy. It bombed in a way where we were loving it, but the crowd was like uncomfortable. And I don't even know if it's up anymore, but on Comedy Central was like, I remember Jonas was like, it was weird, man. I was
Yeah.
like, good. It was supposed to be weird.
Yeah.
That was the whole point. It was supposed to be this uncomfortable, weird. And
It's-
Jamar was the one that was like, I want to choke you out on stage. And I was like, okay.
It was.
I can't say no.
People who don't, so you play a cop and you're out
Chicago
there.
cop, yeah.
Chicago cop, apologizing for like killing a black kid.
Yeah.
And then Jamar's in the audience, gets up, and then he's got Skittles, like Trayvon Martin.
He loves
you know?
Skittles. Yeah.
Skittles. And then he's upset, and you guys get into a fight. And because it wasn't really that rehearsed. The fight kind of feels real and
It looked real.
awkward.
Yeah.
And the audience is silent. They don't know what to do.
Dude, it was great.
It's to watch two guys awkwardly wrestling on stage with a crowd that like does not know how to respond.
they were very
And
nervous.
this is fresh.
Yeah.
Like that Trayvon Martin stuff has just happened.
Yeah, we hadn't rehearsed it. We didn't talk much about it. Jamar was like, we'll just do it. It'll be great. I trusted in Jamar, and I still do to this day, by the way, for the record. I trust Jamar Neighbors with everything because he could also kill me. He could go toe-to-toe with you in the gym. That's probably the only guy that can lift
He's
like you.
Jacked.
Yeah, he's absurd.
I also think he has like kind of nothing to lose, so I don't want to fight him.
No, yeah. You got to have something to lose.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
got too much to live for.
You have way too much to
I
live
got
for.
my cat. I got my wife. I got.
Should have put the wife before the cat, but I do understand why you did that. That does happen sometimes. I got my cat. I got my wife.
Well, I was thinking like, if I'm gone, what's my cat gonna do? If I'm gone, my wife's gonna be fine.
Did she love the cat as much as you do?
Yeah, cat's very important to us. I've never had a pet before. And we don't have kids, you know. So I think it's the first time you feel like a new kind of love that's like, oh, this thing is completely dependent on me for survival.
Yeah.
So it's like a different thing, and it's like very uncomplicated, you know. You don't have to like apologize to it or like.
Although I do.
You
Why do I
apologize
do
to your
that?
dad?
I do it.
I talk to. So my wife's out of town right now. Emily's out of town. I talk to the cat constantly.
I talk to my dog all day.
Morning to night, I'm talking to her.
It's really calming. I don't know. For some reason, when I have conversations with my dog, like I apologize if I know I've been gone too long or something.
Yeah, I apologize.
Yeah, I go, sorry, babe, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm
and I
sorry,
know
honey.
she's like, it's okay,
Hey,
but
sweetie.
let's get back on the schedule. Yeah. Like she's bummed, but she's also like, let's go back to where we're supposed to go
if
back
you just
to.
keep apologizing and doing it, that doesn't really count.
It's funny how they're able to answer you without answering you.
Yeah.
They're very good. She's
Very
very good at that.
expressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my dog also at the end of the day, you know, in the summer specifically, when the sun is behind the bushes and so it's not as hot in my backyard, she'll hit your leg wherever you are, hit your leg with her nose, go to the back door and sit and just stare out the window until you get the idea that it's like, come on, dude,
All right.
it's time to go outside.
All right, I guess. Well, yeah.
But if you take too long, she'll go up to you and she won't hit you again. She'll sit near you and go, and it's like so her levels of like, she's like, I'm starting to get frustrated.
Yeah.
So let's either do it or I'm gonna start barking or being annoying. Like I could piss or poop on something, so you better speed it up.
I've done it before, and you know
Yeah,
I'll do
and
it
I
again.
will do it again.
Do you want it to happen right now?
Your cat, but cats are so much more well behaved. Your cat would never like piss on something or never.
No.
Like
My cat is very well behaved.
They know. When we moved into our old house, this is wild. He knows this. This is nuts. Our dog was digging like crazy under these bushes. And then when our friends' dogs would come over, they would dig under these bushes. And then one time, my dog came back with bones, and it was cat bones.
Oh, they'd buried a cat.
They had buried all of their cats in my backyard. There was like 5 cats. I'm not kidding. They buried all their cats in the backyard. And so we called.
And are they just fully bones now?
All bones, all bones. These people had lived there for 30 years, 30 some odd years, maybe more.
God.
Also, there was when we did move in, had to do a delousing project because there was cat pee.
Well, that cat pee smell is pretty hard to get out.
Well, it got to the wood in the
It's
wood
horrible,
floors.
Horrible.
Yeah, it was pretty wretched. Where there was a room where I was like, should we just light this room on fire?
Yeah.
Is there a way to do controlled burn of a house? You know how they do up in the canyons?
Yeah.
Can I control burn the front room of the home? Because it was disgusting.
This is the new house?
No, this is our old house, but they buried a bunch of cat bones. So then dogs would come over and just find cat bones. And I was like, well, I'm not going to dig it. I'm going to let it happen organically because I can't like go digging for cat bones in my backyard.
And I think cats are cute. A cat's skull is not cute.
It's horrific. It's honestly out of a horror.
Have you seen pictures of like baby skulls with the teeth up there in their cheeks?
No, thank you.
You gotta see this.
Bring it up.
Look up baby skull, teeth, cheeks. I don't know what else to say. But you know, so the baby teeth.
Yeah.
The normal teeth are up there.
They're waiting.
They're in here.
Right.
They don't like get made. They show up with them.
They're in the queue.
And they're literally in the queue.
No.
Look at that.
Oh my God, is that repulsive?
Look at that. So that's their teeth out, and then the next ones are like just up. Look at that.
Take that away.
So when you look at a gorgeous little baby, just teeth all up here.
Teeth to the eyes.
Teeth all the way up to the eyes, man. Their cheeks, there's just teeth under there.
You're shaking their tooth.
Yeah.
That's why babies pull away. You're shaking on their
my
tooth.
future
That's my
tooth.
future tooth. Wow, why do you know that? Why did you see that?
I don't know. I'm on Reddit a lot.
You're a big digger?
I mean, sort of.
Some people do it. They get into that. They dive into Reddit for like hours and hours and hours.
I don't do hours and hours. That's sort of pulled back on being online too much. But I do like to look up like weird shit, you know? Like I'll follow weird stuff.
Give me something. Give me another weird thing.
Like there's one that people, I forget what it's called, megalophobia, people who are scared of big things. So it's just pictures of like a massive ship with a person standing in front of it.
And that gives people panic.
It makes people panic. Or there's thalassophobia, which I think is fear of water. So it'll be like someone in the middle of like a gigantic ocean, like that kind of stuff.
Ooh, the fear of water is pretty detrimental.
It's
It's the thing we need.
It's tough to negotiate. It's like the aliens in science. I think big bodies of water.
But does that creep you out a little bit?
It kind of makes me feel something, yeah.
That's why I would never, like boats. Boats, if I can see the shore, fine. Boat go out real far? No,
Boat
thank
go
you.
out real far.
No, thank
Andrew
you.
not on boat.
Andrew not on boat. Andrew back on land.
I can't swim.
Really? Wait. I don't know this. You really can't swim?
I know I can't. When I was a kid, we didn't have access to pools
Sure.
in Karachi, Pakistan all the time.
No pools in Pakistan?
I mean, we had pools, but you had to
It was very wealthy.
very few. Yeah, like you had to go to like a sports club or something.
But what about like rivers or swimming areas? There's nothing you swim. There's no like lakes or rivers.
Well,
or...
I lived by the beach, but the water was pretty dirty.
You wouldn't go in that.
No, I wouldn't. It smelled.
Yeah.
But I also had an ear problem until like my teens, so I wasn't supposed to like put my head underwater.
You had some kind of like canal disorder, canal disorder.
I had something. I don't know. I got surgery for it.
Oh right.
Yeah. Don't look at my ears. I can see
Well,
you
I'm
looking at
staring
my
at it
ears.
now.
Let's stop it.
Your ears do look like they're not submergible.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put those under.
Yeah.
Keep those above.
These ears don't breathe underwater. Stop looking at my ears, man. It's weird.
Wait, you can't swim though to this day,
So I still don't know how to swim.
which is odd. Your wife is an Olympic swimmer. She
yeah.
swam.
Well, she won bronze.
She still won.
Yeah, but I mean,
Don't be so mean.
I went to the Olympics this year, by the way.
You went to Paris?
Yeah.
How amazing.
Yeah. It was really great.
What'd you go see?
Well, I saw the basketball finals with USA and France.
Are you a basketball fan? I don't know this to
Yeah.
be true. I didn't know. NBA is your one?
Yeah, I like NBA. Yeah.
What any other pro sports or no?
I watch cricket.
That's a pro sport.
Cricket. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cricket and basketball.
That's from
it.
your youth though. That's
That's
embedded
from
in
my
your
youth.
DNA, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is such a big deal over there. Cricket is
It is a
huge.
huge deal
We
over
we
there.
don't do anything about that.
Well, no, people don't understand it. I actually do a bit about it where I talk about. I love cricket because the rivalries are real. Like here, like you're like, oh, Yankees and Red Sox. Oh, like India and Pakistan have nuclear weapons pointed at each other.
Yeah, it's country war. Yeah, that's so funny.
The stakes are very high.
Well, because the presidents will like go, or whatever dignitaries will like go to those games because you're representing.
Yeah.
That is, but
will.
the Premier League does that with soccer, which is daunting because it's city versus city, but it's like the history of the cities. They hate each other so much.
But do they hate each other independent of the sport?
Yeah.
Okay, it's something else going on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and in this because it's class.
Class stuff.
It's all
Right,
class
right,
stuff,
right,
which
right.
is like I think they're better than us. It's like that. It's always this like it's always based on class. Which you're right. American sports has. It's just what area you were born in.
And I find it so weird that players just get traded all the time.
Well, that's a new world. That I'm bummed about that too. Because when I was a kid, you could have a jersey of somebody.
And then you have that jersey, and it's not like it doesn't go out of date.
Right, or you just could fall in love with a player who represented your city a little bit.
Yeah.
And you kind of like you took ownership with them. Like,
Yeah.
hey, that's our guy.
Yeah, and
now
now
it doesn't
just
exist.
people jumping around all over the place.
Did you like the USA games, the Olympic games against France?
It was the most energetic room I've been in ever in my life. Like that crowd was so fucking fired up.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they really wanted to win, and it wasn't really that close.
How could
I
it
mean,
be?
it's crazy. You're sending like LeBron and
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry went nuts, and
Yeah,
I
the
mean, it
great-
was great.
yeah.
It was the weirdest thing when Steph. Did you watch the game?
Yeah.
So he hit those threes at the end.
Yeah.
When he hit the first one, you could feel the energy in the room change, and everyone was like, "He's gonna hit every."
They
shot
knew it
from
was
here on out."
coming.
You just feel it when he hits that first one.
Yeah.
And then each one's harder than the previous one.
Yeah, I know.
As soon as he hit that first one at the end, people were like, "Oh, it's over now."
Right.
How does he do? I mean, that is remarkable what he can do.
If you don't believe in God, whatever, a being,
Yeah.
those things make you go, okay, something else gave him something. I don't know
what's
what it
going
is.
on?
Maybe it's another alien life force that gave, but that is
It's wild.
beyond work ethic, which he has in spades.
Of course.
Because my good friend EP runs his company, his entertainment division. So I've, like seen kind of him for years. And there's something else happening.
Well, it's got to be magic.
He's a
or
magic man.
something, because like really, it makes no sense. He'll hit it over like 7-foot tall guys. It really, when you watch that, or when like Kobe would get hot, you're
The
like,
accuracy is
something else is
yeah,
going
something
on.
else is there. Work has to be there to a degree that's unfathomable to the average person.
Yeah.
Which is why when any idiot says anything about anything, I'm always like, what are you talking about?
Says anything about anything
In sports, when they're like,
I
oh,
see.
oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
how do you miss that shot?
yeah,
like,
yeah.
how could you ever even
Yeah.
come close to doing
You
anything near
wouldn't-
that?
exactly.
You couldn't do anything. Like last night, we're at the bar, and we're at the a trivia night with my cousin and some friends, and this guy says to me, "I'm going to run a marathon. I'm going to run a marathon." I said, "Have you ever? Without training, I can finish it." Exactly. But people have this idea that like
Really?
sports are easy to do.
I can just go run 26
I'll just go
miles.
run a marathon. And I said, no, I said, I'll bet you $1,000 you can't finish a marathon without stopping. Without you taking a walk doesn't count. You can't stop. I said, if you say you can run a whole marathon nonstop, $1,000. He's like, I'll do it. No training. I said, cannot wait to see
And
it.
was this? How did he think he could do it?
Alcohol for sure.
It
This
doesn't-
is fueled by him having a drink.
It's not one of those things that's like harder than it looks. It looks hard.
Yeah, it absolutely looks as hard as it is.
So hard. People are like bleeding from their nipples and stuff. That's a tough sport. Do you have to bleed from your nipples? Well, another one that I got really into was archery in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Because did you watch any archery?
Yeah.
So you need to put the
It needs to rest on your face.
they put it on the face, and then they all at the podium, and they all have a line on their face.
And it hits your lip. It like pushes
Yeah,
your
they
lip.
really go right into it. I
Yeah.
don't know. I've seen it in movies. They don't do that. I don't know why they're doing it.
Right.
I think one guy was doing it, and they're like, "Well, do that. It's the fucking Olympics."
He is the best. Yeah.
But you know why they show their heart rate? You know, they show their heart rate. It'll be like
Yeah.
100 beats a minute because they're like, "I'm in the fucking Olympics." Because they have to release the arrow in between the beats. So what they're doing when they have the thing on their face and they're just focusing, they're trying to get their own rhythm of their beat.
Whoa.
Because if they release on a beat, you're gonna be a disgrace
You'll
to your
miss.
nation. Yeah.
Wow.
So you gotta like, and think of it. 100 beats a minute is like, so you gotta like, you know, like gold medal loser, like
Wow.
just. So that's what
The
they're
difference
doing.
is this: gold medal,
Yeah.
loser.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's dark to think about.
It's so, and then you know what they do? Those where you have 3 people in a row have to do it, and they each have like 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Like they have a total of 45 seconds. So when you're there doing it, trying to find your rhythm, you're like, I gotta get it because there's 2 more people behind me. I'm taking their time. Whew, man.
That gives me anxiety.
Also, you don't get to do this for another 4 years.
Right. This is it.
There's no archery tournaments in between that anybody gives.
I'm sure there are, but we don't know about them.
No, nobody
They're in Des
cares.
Moines, Iowa. They're all happening somewhere
I couldn't
outside.
name. Yeah, exactly. I couldn't name one archer. Gina Davis.
The actress?
She was an Olympic archer.
No way.
I'm pretty sure that's true.
He's Googling it right now.
Gina Davis.
How about our beloved shooter, though? This guy, this hand in the pocket, single-handed
the
shooter.
Turkish guy?
I mean, one of the coolest guys to ever
Love
walk the
that
earth.
guy.
I love how they interviewed him. They're like, "Why don't you have any equipment?" He's like, "I don't need it."
And everybody else is like, they look like Mortal Kombat. They've got so many like scopes and things and wearing a special shirt. And then this guy's just hand in his pocket.
Levi's and a T-shirt, and he's just
Amazing.
popping off.
A t-shirt that just says Turkey on
Turkey.
it.
She almost made it to the 2000 Olympics.
Almost made it to 2000 Olympics. Wow. So Kumail's a liar.
So Gina Davis. It is Gina Davis,
Yeah.
right? She was like a good archer.
In here, we pour whiskey.
Hey, this episode of Whiskey Ginger is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the place where you can showcase whatever you got to the world, okay? Squarespace is incredible. It's an all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just starting out or managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything from products to content to time, all in one place, all on your terms. I've been using Squarespace for quite a long time now. Back in the day, you had to learn how to program or use C++ or one of these complicated ways to build out a website and make it look cool and engaging and not choppy and stupid. And then something dope like Squarespace comes along and says, hey, man, I'm going to lay it out so simple for you. There's these beautiful templates that you can use. You can also go rogue, do whatever you want. You can use their suggestions and their help, or you can kind of build it on your own terms. I like a little bit of a roadmap. But they have so many great things like the Squarespace Blueprint, AI, and SEO tools. You can start a completely personalized website with the guided design system. Choose from professionally curated layout and styling options. Build a unique online presence from the ground up. They got flexible payment options. So if you're selling something, they accept credit cards, Apple Pay, PayPal, and in some eligible countries, the customers have the option to buy now and pay later with Afterpay and ClearPay. So if you're selling shirts or mugs, paintings, sculptures, blown glass, shoes, whatever it is, you can sell content, sell products or content time. If you're a motivational speaker, you can do that too. Easily manage your clients' invoices from vetting leads to receiving payment via invoices, streamlined in one customizable workflow place for you. I love the analytics on here. I've talked about it ad nauseum. They got end-to-end performance analytics, powerful website and seller analytics. You can see where all your top traffic hits are coming from. It is a no-brainer if you are looking to push yourself out to the world, whether it's creatively or just or physically, if you want people to see you. Head to squarespace.com/whiskey to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain using the code WHISKEY, my friends. That is squarespace.com/whiskey to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. You know that code is going to be whiskey. NFL Week 1 is here. And that means a new season means new action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. You ready to place your first bet? Huh? Are you? You can do something simple, like which player scores a touchdown. You could do who gets a pick, who gets a tackle, who gets a half tackle. You can do whatever you want to do. You know my Bears Week 1. I'm excited about them. Over-under is 44.5. I'm not going to tell you which way I'm going to go, but I think you already know. Ready to do a touchdown dance of your own? You got to score big with DraftKings Sportsbook now. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the best place to bet touchdowns. Baby, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code WHISKEY. That's code WHISKEY for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium on us only at DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, and Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms at nfl.com/terms. Have you been slacking in your pimping? Let's talk about procrastination, ladies and gentlemen. I was so bad at it in school, I waited to the very last minute to do literally anything. Well, I found a secret weapon to help us kick procrastination to the curb. With THESIS. THESIS is a brain-boosting supplement made with natural ingredients, proven in clinical studies to support faster reaction times, speed up mental activation, and help improve concentration. Focus. THESIS helps you to get through your to-do list and remember where you parked your car in the short term, while also supporting your cognitive health in the long term. And let me tell you, I've always struggled with that. An overwhelming mush brain. That's what it is to me. It's like you're too clogged. There's too much information being shot through the brain, and you don't know how to slow it down and organize. THESIS, pretty wonderful, by the way, helped me cognitively feel a little bit more balanced, a little bit more clean, and honestly, and focused. Focused on what I needed to do and get done. THESIS is pretty great. For a limited time, our listeners can save $60 on their first subscription order with code WHISKEY at takethesis.com. That's $60 off your first order at TAKETHESIS.com with promo code ISWHISKEY. All right. Here's how it works, by the way. You take a short quiz answering questions about your lifestyle, habits, goals. THESIS is going to help identify the best nootropic blends for you. You'll then receive a starter kit with 4 different blends to test over 4 weeks. I did. Phenomenal. After the 4 weeks, you're going to find out which blend or blends makes you feel more focused, balanced, and productive. At any point throughout the process, THESIS coaches are ready to answer any questions you have to guide you through your experience. 6 unique blends they got. Clarity, creativity, logic, energy, motivation, and confidence. Confidence I already have, but I need a little bit more clarity and creativity. I like that. All the products are made with natural ingredients, non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free. Third-party tests 100% of the raw ingredients for purity and potency so you can feel confident what you're putting in your body is clean and safe. Take the free 3-minute quiz to find out what your brain needs. Head to takethesis.com. Use the code WHISKEY to save $60 on your first subscription order when you sign up at THESIS. That's $60 off your first order at TAKETHESIS.com. THESIS.com with promo code whiskey. Maximize your mind with Thesis today.
Ginger. I like gingers.
Huge crush on her as a kid, by the way. Huge crush.
Oh my God.
I was in love with her.
Looking at her.
I was so into
Much.
her.
What was it? Beetlejuice? What was it for you?
Yeah, Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice had that and Winona Ryder, you know? So, like, whichever way you want to go,
Well,
you're covered.
Winona crush was from Scissorhands.
Scissorhands.
That was Edward Scissorhands was my Winona crush.
That is one of my favorite movies.
Because she's so, like, ethereal in that. She just feels fake. Like, he did AI before AI was a real thing. He made that movie look like it could have been compiled from AI.
I was just watching Batman last night. Those movies
The
look
best
like
Batman. You're talking about Uno? Batman
Uno.
1? The best.
I think I like Batman Returns even more, but those two Batman movies are so fucking good.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna make a controversial statement here.
Oh, I can't wait.
I don't think we need to do the when you're Batman, you have to talk in a husky voice.
You don't have to.
It sounds really stupid.
You don't have to.
I think Christian Bale started it, and now it's become like an arms race between all of them to see who can go the huskiest.
Go more.
It always sounds a little stupid.
Yeah, it does.
Don't do it. It was fine. Keaton wasn't doing it.
Wait, did Clooney do it? No.
I don't think Clooney did it. I think Christian Bale started it.
He did. He was kind of the crux.
One of the greatest actors of all time. Started an arms race. They're all doing too much now. I watched the new Batman cartoon, which is really good.
Is it?
I'm a child at heart.
Yeah.
But when he's Batman, he's like, and also obviously, why is he doing it when he's just talking to Alfred? You know, like
I was
drop
like,
it,
sir,
man.
could you drop the voice?
Yeah, please.
I don't need the guttural grunting.
I don't.
Give me
I
the
think
car,
we can
Alfred.
just go back to not doing that.
I think it's
anymore.
because Keaton was so. And how old are you again? You're 40.
I'm 46.
Right. So
How old are you?
I'll be 41 in a month. So we're close in age where like that shaped my childhood, Batman 1. So Keaton was Batman to me.
Yeah.
But the sound of his voice, I do think, is what they were imitating because he had a very smooth, slow, low
Well, you
voice.
could do that.
Yeah, but I think
Talk a little differently as Batman. You don't have to go all the way down here.
But he talked the same whether he
talked the
was
same.
Bruce Wayne or Batman. Which is also, other actors would go, well, you know, he should have turned into something. That's why I think they do that.
They're like, I can fix this. Watch
Yeah, because
this.
Keaton was like, I'm gonna play he is the same man. It's just I get to transform.
Yeah.
That was the beauty. And also, something about Keaton is when he is Bruce Wayne, he's so fucking unassuming.
Yeah.
It's so weird how you're like, man, this guy's good at being unassuming. He felt like a nobody.
Yeah.
Which, not to be a dick, but everyone thereafter, their Bruce Waynes were very Bondish. Almost
Yes.
like they were sexy.
Yes.
Where Keaton's Bruce Wayne was like kind of a loser.
Yeah, he's wearing turtlenecks. He's a weirdo.
He's a weirdo.
He
Yeah.
was like a total weirdo.
And when he would have parties, it was almost like he was embarrassed to be at his own house.
Dude, I was watching the first one last night. He's at his party, and nobody knows who he is.
I know, I love that.
So Vicky Vale goes, and she's like, do you know where Bruce Wayne is? And he's like, no. And then she walks away.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about it. It almost was like he wanted to be an unknown, which is why when he became known, he wanted to be unknown.
Right.
It was like that was the whole point of the movie. Batman became such a sexy character that I think they felt like you had to jazz it up, juice it up or something.
Yeah.
And no hate on Bale.
Every actor who's played Batman is a phenomenal actor. Like Robert Pattinson is one of the
he's
best
a great actor.
actors. Christian Bale is an amazing actor.
Val Kilmer.
One of the best actors of all time. George Clooney. Every Batman has been a phenomenal actor.
That's true.
But what Keaton did was weirder than everybody else. Even like Clooney smooth, you know?
Yeah.
Keaton was not smooth. And that movie, it's so off-putting and weird. And, you know, all the backgrounds of those matte paintings, they like painted it.
I like
it looks
that.
so unreal.
That's why I like it.
It looks... And then Batman Returns. It's not even Batman's story. The Penguin is the lead of that movie.
Yeah, DeVito is it.
Yeah, DeVito is the lead of that movie. And then there's a sequence where, like, you know, he comes up and he's running for mayor and all this, and then he gets defeated because he, on mic, secretly says, like, these idiots or whatever. And then it's a scene of him in the sewers, and there's an amphitheater of real penguins.
Yeah, there
and
is.
he's like giving him a really angry speech, and all these penguins are standing there just listening to him. It's such a strange movie. It's
beautiful.
And he just has like black spit coming out of his mouth
The whole time he's drooling.
Yeah, that's not part of Penguin.
No.
That was Tim Burton being like, well, he should probably have black goo coming out of his mouth. He bites the guy's nose off. Remember that?
I love that.
This was like a movie that had like McDonald's toys. It's so strange.
It was a Happy Meal set.
Yeah.
When he ate the raw fish down by the water.
Oh my God.
It's like singed into my brain, that scene of him like, and he gnawed at it in a way that now, this is the funniest thing, because I've said this one time to Charlie Day, is I was like, I see remnants of that character in Frank and Always Sunny.
That's
Like,
so funny.
When
That's
he
so
eats,
true.
I'll be like, Penguin Day like
Yeah,
that.
it's a
Where
penguin.
he's like, yeah, when he does that like gnawing.
Yeah.
You could see him do the same kind of, because he's supposed to be this like outlandish lunatic.
Disgusting.
Pig, and he does that in Sunny a lot.
That's right.
He was so good in that movie. And okay, give me this. Give me your favorite obscure scene. Doesn't have to be from the Batman series that we've been rambling on about, but your favorite obscure scene from a movie that you don't think other people saw that stuck out to you always,
Well, this is not an obscure movie, but
or scene in a film. I mean, like a scene from it. I'll give you the example that I'm trying to lead with. In that Batman.
Yeah.
I would do this all the time at my house, and it drove my mom nuts. I would lay on the floor of the living room and I'd go, because when the Joker had the, and so like it was such a spit, and my mom was like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "It's in Batman." She's like, "Where?" I'm like, "It's one of the final scenes when the
so
Joker."
creepy.
But it stuck out to me so much as a kid because they pan in on him.
It's so creepy.
Oh my God, it's so daunting, and the way that Jack's holding his face still,
Yeah.
and the camera's going into his
He's
eye.
so good.
Oh my
in
God.
that movie.
That's what I mean with like an obscure scene that like if I made the quote, a friend would be like, "What is that noise from?"
Yeah. There's like, it's so funny to me that there's all those balloons at the end. He's got the big balloons that have
Yes.
like the laughing gas.
Right.
And Batman's got his like,
Cutter,
he's
plane
got
cutter.
a big scissors in front of it. What other application do you have for this? What are you doing? Trimming hedges? Why do you need that? You had to go trim the palm trees in LA? What are you doing, man?
Give me the scissor cutters, Alfred.
Luckily, I have the scissor cutters.
They're located in the front of the plane, sir.
Here's a scene I think about. The first Superman movie with Christopher Reeve.
The original, right?
The original, which I saw recently. And people think of Superman as being like this boring Boy Scout guy. His performance in the first one is not like that. It's like very mischievous, and
Right.
he loves being a superhero. There's a sequence in it. I cannot believe people don't talk about this. I think people just haven't seen that movie in a while. He's Superman, and Lois Lane is doing an interview with him on the roof, and the tension is thick, you know? And so he's standing here, she's standing there, they're on a building, and there's like some sort of like barrier waist high between them.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, so you can like see through things? And he goes, yeah. And she's like, what color are my panties? This is in Superman.
I don't remember this.
It's crazy. She goes, what color are my panties? And he's like, oh, I can't see through lead. Which is good storytelling because that's going to come back later. Right. That's just good exposition. He's like, I can't see through lead. So they talk for another 4 or 5 minutes, and then she walks away, and he goes, pink. And she goes, excuse me? He goes, your panties, they're pink. And she goes, do you like pink? And he says, I like pink very much. This is in the first Superman movie. This is a children's movie.
I don't remember this.
It's such a great scene.
God, that's great.
It is so hot.
And and by the way, if there was ever any discussion over whether or not that was necessary, they're like, "Well, the lead drop is what we need. We need.
Well, we gotta. Yeah,
we gotta have
we
somehow."
gotta, yeah.
Why? Wait. What was the barrier? Was made of lead between them?
It's just like some piece of the building that they're.
Right,
You know, they're like standing there, and there's like some sort of roof structure.
Sure. Isn't this funny that this also gave us a tip for the future of how much lead was in everything that we built?
Exactly.
Now that same roof has a
yeah.
sign that says California Prop 65 says this building could cause birth defects.
Exactly.
When I moved into my first apartment in LA, I saw that
my
sign and I
God.
thought, what does that even mean? I called my dad.
Yeah.
I was like, there's a sign out front of our apartment that says it could cause birth defects. He's like, oh yeah, they built those things filled with asbestos and lead and
Yeah, and cancer.
cancer.
Like,
You're
yeah.
living in a cancer building.
Do
I
you
was
know
like,
Nate
oh.
Craig?
Oh yeah, love Nate Craig.
Yeah, great guy. also a
Also
Chicago
golfer.
guy.
El golfer too.
Oh, he's a big
Yeah,
golfer?
yeah, yeah.
But we used to go to his house. He used to have these parties on July 4th. And at his house, there was a sign on the thing that was like, you're going to get cancer.
Please take a test
Yeah.
on the way out. Let us know how much cancer you got while you were here and how long you were here for. No, that always moving to. Where'd you first live in LA? Where was your very first apartment?
Los Feliz.
That's a good move.
I've only ever lived in Los Feliz and Silver Lake until now. And now I don't live there.
You never
anymore.
lived in anything really like scary and sketchy, huh? Good for you.
No, I never lived in anything.
I lived in
scary.
the throes of Culver City back when it was like. Now it's so funny. Now it's like Amazon and Apple.
Yeah.
Back then it was like a car window broken
Yeah.
and knife stick-ups. It was it was not great back in the day. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't like super unsafe, but my Hyundai Sonata did get broken into, and all they stole was my book of CDs. And my CD book, for the guy that still has my CD book, I'm really upset because that Exhibit CD that was burnt in there was one of my favorites. DMX was in there, one of my favorites.
I mean, you have access to these songs, though.
How, Kumail? Where am I going to get these songs?
I would give Google a shot.
Ugh, don't look that up.
You know what? A CD book being stolen really is a violation because it's like nobody else has that collection.
It was so personal.
Only it's yours.
I mean, were you a nerd about like I organized each page? Each page was organized.
I was like-
I know you were like that. Each 4-disc page was organized specifically to a genre or a style, and it was very deliberate. And if I took a CD out, it was going to go back in the slot it belonged.
Yeah,
and then
of course.
if a friend replaced it into another spot,
No.
idiot. Also, sometimes a dumb friend, if you really have dumb friends, which I had a lot of, sometimes they would double in a CD into a single spot. You know? You could kill that guy.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
I was the same way with my VHSs and stuff.
Same
Like,
thing.
I would I just thought of the thing that you were saying.
The
You were
specific scene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say from Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
When Casey Jones hits it with a bat, he hits Raphael. He goes, "What do you know? 6 runs." He just says it. I would just say it. Well, what do you know? 6 runs. I would just say that.
See, this is what I mean.
Just like to
all of us
myself.
have these little like nuggets that stayed in our mind, and I don't even know why.
Emily has like certain phrases she says, and then we will watch like one of her favorite movies from like when she was a kid, and I'll be like, that's that phrase you say all the time.
Right.
And it's like some movie that she watched when she was 7 years old,
Right.
you know?
And it just
It's
beds
just like,
itself
I'm like,
into
you
your brain.
say that. What was it? Like if, I think it was either Real Genius. We were watching some movie that she loved as a kid. And I was like, there are like 3 phrases from that you say all the time.
Well, there's some that I'll say. My mom does it a lot. My mom does a lot because we would watch movies together, and she'll do it a lot. And it's common stuff. But we loved Big. My mom and I, we watch Big together.
One
every
of the
time I go
perfect
home.
movies.
Front to back. It's on Penny Marshall, dude.
Penny Marshall.
Some people figured out. Same thing with like John Hughes. Some people figured out family comedy, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what
Hughes.
they just did it so well that you're like, this is a perfect movie.
Yeah.
Even though it has a ton of holes, like an absurd amount of holes.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Emily had the idea to do a sequel for that woman who's like, I fucking fell in love with a 12-year-old. Like,
yeah.
what happens to her next? I want to follow her around. Like, oh god.
Turns out that was Ghislaine Maxwell. How weird is that? That's who that was the whole time. No, the movie was filled with such obscure holes, but my mom will quote, just like she'll always go, "Okay, I got on top," when they're talking about the top, when just the sleepover. Is that a trampoline? Yeah, I'll say that a lot. I'll just walk in the kitchen. I'll go, "Is that a trampoline?" She's like, "Yeah, do you want to jump?" It's such a. It was the way that I remember Brewster's Millions, like the way that we all thought that kids would spend money when they had money.
Yes.
Big actually did it the best because
Yes.
you'd get an apartment in Soho you'd get a huge lofted apartment in Soho in New York in Manhattan.
You'd go work at a toy company.
At a toy company, and you would fill it with all the shit your mom and dad would be like, "We're not going to have a basketball hoop in the living room. That's stupid. Come on, Andrew, stop it." And he did all that shit. It was and that was the best joke that they wrote in there was that the beds were still bunk beds. It was just two small bunk, and they were singles. They were like little tiny.
Yeah.
It was like a perfect vision of what a child would actually do. Man, yeah, my mom and I quote it all the time because that was the one that we would watch constantly. I mean, and then There's another question I have for you now. I got to work with John Hurd in an indie movie in Chicago, and I kind of was excited, and I thought, I've never been like starstruck or whatever, and I've worked with pretty like substantial actors, and for some reason, because it was my childhood, I was like, God, I want to ask John Hurd so many things. And we were on like our first day, and he was smoking a cigarette, sitting in a chair, and you could tell he didn't want to do this movie. It's like an indie movie in Chicago.
Sure.
And it was probably a favor. And I was like, hey, I just want to tell you how much I respect you and love your work. And, you know, like Big is literally a movie that my mother and I watch when we go home. Give me the ball basket. My mom says that all the time. And he was like, oh, yeah, all right. I was like, I'm in this movie with you. You know what I mean? Like to try to like.
Yeah. I'm legit. I'm not just some scrub.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I didn't just bring in the food.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, yeah, that's good. That's nice, man. And I was like,
It didn't go great?
no, it wasn't bad. It was
Didn't
just
go
like,
great.
it reminded me, keep it to myself.
Well,
Keep it to myself next time.
I have had luck not keeping it to myself, too. I think you
Right.
could sort of...
It depends on who it is.
Depends on who it is.
But he was, you know, I mean,
Depends on who
he's
it
a
is.
legend.
Yes.
Also a legend in Chicago film history, which I think is also very interesting because Home Alone, he's embedded as a Chicago guy for the rest of time. Like, you are the dad from Home Alone.
Yeah.
And your Uncle Frank was an asshole. And I mean, it's like, your brother Frank.
Yeah.
I mean, like, sometimes you embed yourself in a way. Is that ever a fear of yours? Where, like, they embed you to a film or a role, and people will think of you as that for the rest of your career?
I mean, I feel like that would be pretty great.
A good thing, yeah.
No, it wouldn't be a good thing. But no, I don't have... I mean, you know, people used to call me Dinesh on the street. They still do because of Silicon Valley.
I know, yeah.
But no, I mean, for me, I truly just want to do like something completely different every time. Like that's at least the goal. So hopefully it wouldn't be like that, but it's hard, you know.
But Dinesh, but someone calling you something so iconic from a show that was so beloved, there is also something cool about that.
It is.
I mean, except for Dinesh does sound it's a little.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a little.
Or like when someone yells Mike to me from the show Dave, I'm always like, okay.
Yeah.
But when someone's like, Dinesh!
Yeah.
Hey, Dinesh! That's his name. He's Dinesh. You're the Indian guy from the thing. That's a little.
It's a little.
It's a little shitty.
It's a little shitty.
It's a little shit.
Listen, happy to have people
Happy to have
watch
it.
my shit. Happy to have people watch
I
my
should
shit.
tell you, I 3 times masturbated to Chippendale, so I just want to let you know.
3 times?
Yeah, 3 times.
What were the scenes?
Yours.
Okay.
Yeah, just you.
Just me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anytime I saw you, I thought, I got to rope one out real fast.
I'm going to snap one off.
Did you have fun? Was that fun?
It was really fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, because I got to do something completely different than I'd ever done
Right.
before.
When you said
know?
that, that's what I thought of. I thought that was very unique for you.
Yeah, it's hard to like, you know, it's hard like, I don't get to play bad guys, you know.
Well, you're not a bad guy.
but
That's kind of a problem.
It's sort of also become like, well, what message are we sending if the brown guy is the bad guy? Well, you're just saying that we're all just people, and some of us are good and some of us are bad.
Right.
And so, like, you know, I saw this movie. Sebastian Stan was in this movie, Fresh. Did
Incredible
you see this movie,
actor.
Fresh? Incredible
No.
actor.
No.
And like a leading man, but he also played this like really evil guy in this movie, and I was like, well, I want to do something like that. But I think it's hard if they're like, well, that's a bad message we're sending. No.
Yeah, that is true. I understand the piece of that being cognizant of like, what do I want? Yeah, what am I trying to say? Or am I able to just embed this in a character and go, you do know these are characters. We have to play characters. That did
yeah.
exist. That were real people too.
Yeah.
That is a delicate balance. But also your trouble to me is you have a nice face. So, you know what I mean? Some guys' faces look like they could be assholes better. I can be an asshole better face than you do.
Yeah.
Because they just do. It's just it's birthright.
Yeah, but I think sometimes, like I'd love to see. Has Tom Hanks ever played a bad guy?
Yes. Yeah. He was a tyrannical evil person. Forrest Gump, right? Wasn't he was a bad guy in that one? Or no, bad guy? He wasn't a bad guy in Forrest Gump?
By the way, that's a movie.
Elvis?
Huh? Elvis, yeah, sure. In Elvis, he was kind of a dick, right? When he played the manager? Right, he was a piece of shit in that.
I guess so.
But let's really go down the...
I guess that's it.
Yeah, no,
That's the closest we got.
I think kind of...
I mean, Tom Hanks really is a marvel, isn't he? I mean, he started off as like a sitcom actor.
Yeah. Bosom Buddies?
Yeah.
Wasn't that him? Yeah, right?
Yeah. And
Lady Killers, yeah. Yeah.
I didn't see
Hey,
that one.
there is no such thing. That is an oxymoron. There is no bad Coen Brothers movie. Watch your mouth. Yeah, you watch your mouth, pal. Hey, do you make films? Are you a filmmaker? You shut your mouth.
Well, he can eat cake and be like, I don't like the cake.
No, he cannot.
He doesn't have to be a baker to say he doesn't
You
like the cake.
you should have made a cake before you start to criticize
Okay.
cake.
All right, that's fair.
Also, at some point in your life, please learn how to make a cake. Please learn how to make a cake.
I've made cakes.
You are a big cake guy.
I love cake, but I've baked.
What's a cheat meal for you? I know your diet's ridiculous.
Well, so this weekend I've already planned. I'm gonna eat a burger and fries on Saturday.
Have you picked the burger joint already in your mind?
Yeah.
Can we know? What is it? What do you get?
I'm gonna go to this restaurant called the Benjamin that's new and it looks cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they known for their burgers?
Yeah, I heard they have a good burger.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. You know, it's the Hundreds guy opened this restaurant.
Well, that does line up namesake-wise.
Yeah.
That does make sense.
So I'm excited to try that. But I've been traveling a lot, so my diet hasn't been as good.
I don't believe it.
But it hasn't.
You don't eat sweets, though. You're not a sweets guy.
I love sweets.
Really?
That's my weakness.
That's
But I don't eat them very much, but that's my favorite thing.
what is the one sweet that you could take to the grave?
When I used to, oh my God. I mean, I can't even pick one. They're so.
What's at home right now? Is there anything at the house, or you don't do that? You don't keep it there to torture
No.
yourself?
No.
Right.
I
That's like we don't
I
buy
can't-
shit.
I can't have that. I used to around Christmas, when I was single, all my friends would leave town. This was in Chicago. And I'd be like everyone's like pet sitter, you know? My family doesn't celebrate Christmas. And so I'd go feed everyone's pet, and I would have a day where every meal was dessert. I'd go and I'd get breakfast dessert, lunch dessert,
No way.
and dinner dessert.
Wow.
And I would just eat all day just dessert.
That's Christmas.
It
That's
was-
your Christmas. Your family does celebrate
That
Christmas.
was my Christmas. It was I'm getting tears in my eyes thinking about it.
What was the memorable meal?
imagine
Do you
it
know what it
now.
was? What were they?
You know, I love like a banana cream pie. I think that's really good. But I like a pie with like the graham cracker, like the cookie type crust. You know, I don't like as much the other kind.
Regular pie crust, you're saying?
Yeah, I don't like it as much. I
Right.
mean, you know, if that's what they got, I'll eat it.
Sure.
It took me a while to get into the Basque cheesecake. You know, cheesecake has the base at the bottom. Basque is just the cheese.
Yeah.
There's no cake at the bottom. And I was like, well, that's not cheesecake. I've learned to love it now. I enjoy the texture.
You do like it.
Yeah.
I need the bottom because I like the snap when the fork goes through
I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
Of course. But even with the Basque, I've learned to enjoy it. I love a creme brulee. Here's my idea for a creme brulee. You know, you've had creme brulee?
Yeah, dude. What? Kumail.
I know. We all live in the world. We're all doing okay. We've all had creme brulee, okay? Here's the problem with a creme brulee, right? You crack the top.
Yeah.
And then you eat the top, it's gone. Double layer creme brulee. So there's creme brulee, creme brulee.
Oh, my
So
God.
you crack it, and you eat it, and then you crack. There's another one underneath it.
Crack it again.
Crack it again. Eat it again.
Smart. I like this.
How about that?
Yeah, some people would order two, but I do get this is another way to do
Oh,
it.
you can't order two.
Yes, you
You're
can.
not a
When you're with me, you
maniac.
do whatever you want. I'll pay for it.
But
This is like a tiramisu almost, layers wise.
love a tiramisu.
Well, it's my favorite dessert.
Love a tiramisu.
It's the one that I think is that's the one. That's my one.
I would say it's top 5 for me.
That's my one, or good old fashioned warm apple pie and French vanilla bean ice cream.
Ice cream, yeah. The problem with tiramisu, I feel like there's a lot of variation in what a tiramisu is. Like,
Yeah. Well, everyone tries to do their own spin. That's why you got to go to old mom and pop Italian
you
joints.
just want the layers, yeah.
The OG. Give me the
That's
OG.
what I like.
Don't try to zhuzh it up with some new variation of tiramisu.
You've already nailed it.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
Ladyfingers and espresso, layer
Yeah.
with mascarpone cheese.
This is really good.
My wife makes a phenomenal tiramisu, and then a lot of times we'll go out and I'll go, it's not yours. It's not as good.
It's not as good.
She's perfected it because she's made it enough now because she loves it where we know which restaurants, do it the best, and then we'll ask what's the trick to keeping this moist, this cold, and this not soggy.
I mean, that's the thing. You got to have the different textures in there.
Yeah, we got to make sure the ladyfingers don't get too soggy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's
yeah.
sloppy
It's
pop.
just going to fall apart.
Like when you go to a restaurant and they put it on the plate and it flops, and you're like, this is not it. Take this back. Chef, take this back.
Make it colder.
Make
yeah.
it colder now.
Banana pudding I really like with like the vanilla wafers or whatever's in there. But then again, you know, you don't want the vanilla wafers to get too like
Too
soggy.
soggy.
You got to like hold on to. I don't know how they do it. Well, some places, you know, when they do fries and they put a bunch of stuff on them, some places are able to keep the fries still crispy.
Yeah, what is
I don't know
this?
how they do it, but they put the cheese and, you know, whatever on there, but they can still keep it crispy.
Preservatives. Something is layering
I think
itself.
they're double frying or triple frying it or something. You see, I'm a big food guy.
Yeah,
I
you
love
are a food guy.
Yeah.
This is your vice. Because of your health aspect now of keeping in good shape, now your food is your naughty boy vice.
I've always had a weird relationship with food, though. Like, it's always felt like I've always loved. Here's my theory about it. I think I grew up in a culture where the food is too good to not have some kind of eating disorder. Our food, Pakistani food,
Yeah.
Indian food, is too fucking good. And you eat it all day, every day, and it becomes too important to you. And so
Yeah.
I think we all have like sort of a disordered eating situation because our food's too tasty.
But you don't see a lot of overweight Indians and Pakistanis.
No, but we die of heart attacks in our 40s.
God bless.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, but that's also other things. That's stress in life and pressure and
It is genetics too.
Genetics, yeah,
We
but-
don't want to talk about it.
No, we
but
can. Let's talk
we're-
right
We
about
are
it.
not built to last.
no, you're not a Ford truck. No. What is the one Pakistani dish
Biryani.
that's it for you?
Yeah,
That's-
that's my number one dish of all time.
Can you make it or can Emily make it?
Not as good. My grandmother made the best, and now my mom makes it. My grandmother's gone.
Where did she go?
She went to Tanzania.
What is she doing there? Little
I
research
don't
project?
know.
She doing her dissertation still?
Yeah, she just living in the middle of the woods. I don't know. Does Tanzania have woods? No, I don't know.
No. We got to get you a map. You got to get yourself a new map.
You're like a smart guy, huh?
No.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not. Am I? No. No. Thank you. Okay. I'll say this. I'm a street smarts. My street smart level is through the roof.
Yeah.
My book smart stuff is like, if I want to indulge and engage, then I can learn. But my street smarts, like
How were your grades and stuff?
almost non-existent.
Okay, bad.
In high school, I was a CB guy, BC guy.
And what were you like? Were you like
Piece of shit.
Getting in trouble?
Piece of
Yeah.
shit. I was lighting everything on fire, causing trouble. No, I liked drinking and partying, and I was a goofball.
Piece of shit.
I hated school.
Me too?
And then I got to
hated
college, and I was doing journalism and English and media studies, and so then I got A's. I was on the honor
you
roll in
loved
college.
that.
Yeah, because I wanted to. High school never clicked with me because it was stuff I didn't give a shit about.
Right.
I didn't give a shit about most of the classes.
Right.
They were meaningless to me. It was like this information is not even fun to learn. And then when I got to college, once I got the prereqs out of the way, then I was like, oh.
You could just
Then I could take a
decide
class
what
I
you wanna
like.
Study, yeah.
Yeah, like new media studies was great when I learned about this world of digital media, which was brand new back then in journalism. And so I think those things intrigued me. And even if I was bad at it, I worked extra hard to learn it because I thought it was fascinating.
Because you cared, yeah.
Yeah, I gave a shit. But so I was an A student in college, ironically enough, because I didn't party any less. I partied more.
Yeah.
But I gave a shit. That was my problem with high school initially. I tried to explain this to my mom. She was like, "You're not a dumb kid. Why do you do this?" And I'm like, "I just don't like it. I find zero engagement."
It's so boring.
It's
I hated
awful.
school my entire life until college, too.
But you're a smart guy. See, that's the thing.
I
is
got good grades.
until you found what you liked, you just put up with the bullshit.
I got good grades, yeah. I always got good grades, but I hated school. It made me absolutely miserable. I could not believe I had to go to school. Worst days of my life.
Did you go to college?
Yeah, I went
Where'd you go to college?
I went to a small school in Iowa called Grinnell College.
What was that for? Why'd you do that? What's the purpose? Grinnell, how did you find it? Why did
liberal
you
arts. I wanted to
liberal
go to
arts school.
liberal arts because I didn't know. It's I'd grown up in Karachi, which is like 20 million people. It's like our New York. It's like a busy city, like buildings, loud, dirty, So I was like, I want to see what rural life is like.
Wow.
Because I was coming to the U.S.
That's
I
so
was like,
funny.
I want to know what it is.
Yeah.
So applied to a bunch of liberal arts schools, high-ranked liberal arts schools in small towns or like rural areas. And Grinnell was the highest ranked one that I got into. I think it was ranked like ninth or something in liberal arts schools, and U.S. News and World Report would do that thing.
Right, I remember that. Yeah.
So
And they would also rank like the most worthless universities.
did they do that?
Yeah, they were like,
They
don't
would
send
have
your kid
party
to-"
schools.
Yeah, well, dude, I went to one.
What was it?
I was at Arizona State.
okay.
Yeah, Harvard of the West is what we called it. Harvard of the West. Very hard to get into. You had to be there.
You had to show up.
Yeah, just had to be there. If you actually got to, if you come to Arizona, we'll let you in.
Can you make it here?
Yeah. If you can make it, dude, you're
Yeah.
in.
If you could drive over, that's
do-
your admissions test.
Did you do all 4 years?
yeah.
Wow. So many comics, I feel like, bail after 1 or 2. where
No,
they-
it was too important to me. I also, had I didn't have a visa. I mean, I had a study visa.
Right.
So I had to, if I dropped out of school, I couldn't stay in the U.S. And so I had a study visa. And I loved college. I had a great time. And my senior year started doing stand-up comedy.
Senior year in Ohio.
Iowa.
I mean.
Yeah.
Wow. Was
I
there
did it
any
tw-
scene at all? What
no,
was there?
I did it twice on campus. I
Right.
just did there was this coffee shop that the year before I did it, they had an open mic night, and it was just really 3 or 4 people would go up and do stand up. And I was like, oh, I want to do that because I would really fall in love with stand up. I'd never really seen it until, coming to the US.
In Pakistan, there was no exposure to it at all.
I think stand up is a very American form.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
birthed for sure here. So I mean,
Yeah.
it feels like it's very much our, in a way that some culture had wonderful music for their community.
Yeah.
We just had making fun of how fucked up everything is for our
Yeah.
communities.
Yeah.
Particularly because of our, if you think about historically, like the greatest, look, if you take somebody like Pryor, for instance, the greatest thing that he ever did was bridge the gap between very, very impoverished
Yeah.
and then people who didn't understand that world, had no exposure to it. He was able to talk
Yeah.
to multiple kinds of people,
Yeah.
which I think was the most brilliant thing about him, which we rarely get anymore.
We don't.
Well, it's also because he probably was, again, another one of these Steph Curry. Where are you from?
Yeah, what's going on?
Who made you?
Yeah.
What is this? How did
can you do this?
How are you able to do this thing so seamlessly? So
Well,
that's,
it's interesting. I think about this a lot where I see certain people where I'm like, you just got whatever that thing is, and you got it, But then watching the Steve Martin documentary, did you watch the Steve Martin documentary?
No, but I read his book. I
Yeah,
don't know if
Born
it's
Standing Up is
it's
fantastic.
phenomenal.
Steve Martin to me is obviously, one of the best comedians of all time. Nobody's ever been. Who's better than Steve Martin, right?
Right.
He's done so much. And his approach was not that. It was very thought out. It was very meticulous. He would go through and sort of think about it and construct it and work hard at it. So his approach wasn't sort of completely instinctual, like I think Pryor's was. Pryor was just funny in his bones, or like Chappelle, just funny in his bones. Not that they don't work at it.
Right.
Well, Pryor's gotten lazier recently.
He's not put anything out in a long
No.
time.
What is your new special, buddy? He's not on the Hulu lineup.
Well, I did hear Netflix offered him a deal and he turned it down.
But Steve Martin worked at it like math.
Yes.
It was really interesting.
He does talk about it in the book.
Yeah.
Specifically because he was obsessed with, magic, right? He would do.
Yes.
So he loved, any magician that you meet that's worth their weight is usually, analytical, nerdy, analytical. They're very specific, precise,
Yeah.
in a good way. In a good way. It's just,
I struggle with magic.
well, yeah, it's because it scares you
It scares me.
because the way you grew up.
It scares me.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Because your parents would tell you, magic is, say it,
Haram?
haram. That's right. Magic is haram. That's right. I was letting you have it. No, but I think every magician I've ever met is very analytical and very down to the, because tricks have to
It makes
be.
me very uncomfortable.
It is. It's a little
Magic.
weird.
I don't like a party when they have a magician and then suddenly a guy comes up to you and you're being nice to him and then he pulls out a deck of cards and everybody's gathered around and you're like, I don't.
Or you
did
think you're
not
having a
realize-
conversation with him and then he uses that for the thing and you're like, oh
don't,
shit.
Don't do this.
Why are you doing that
Yeah,
to
it's
me?
always like, you're like, why are you wearing a suit? Nobody else is wearing it. Oh, fuck. I got trapped in another goddamn magic show.
And he lowers his bottom lip and it tattooed inside there is Emily. And you're like, is this
Yeah.
your wife's name? You're like, get him out of here.
Yeah, I don't like
Get
this.
him out of here.
They're just fancy liars. I know you're doing something.
Fancy liars.
They are.
If magicians are fancy liars, comedians are what? Sloppy liars?
Yeah, we're sloppy liars. Not fancy at all.
They're just dressed up liars. That's all they are.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm glad you're back, by the way. I want to say this. I'm
Oh,
glad that
love
I'm
it.
glad that I see you around more doing stand up now that I run into you.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Because it's great. That it's just I think a lot of guys go through that chunk of time where like you took more time off for acting, which is wonderful, and writing and whatever else you were up to. It's like it's neat to see people go do your thing and then you're coming back. We have same representation, and it's funny
We
when I
do.
speak about you to him. I said it's been cool to see Kumail come around more. He's like, yeah, he's going out. He's like doing it again.
Yeah.
Which I think is exciting. I think it's a cool thing to take a break and come back.
Yeah, it was really interesting coming back, actually, because you're sort of like, you kind of have to go like, why am I coming back? Like, why am I doing this again?
And
It's just sort of like, what do I, this was interesting, is I came back after 8 or 9 years, and you see the same guys. I see, a bunch of people. And it's interesting to see the people who in that time have gotten better and the people who haven't.
right, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sure. Yeah.
And some of them were good back then too, and they're still good, but they haven't like evolved in any way.
Sure.
But then some people, you're like, oh, you're like sort of still figuring out and want to keep changing and growing, and that's interesting. So for me, it was like, why do I want to do this again? And it was really it was a horrible feeling not being good at something that I used to be good at. It was a horrible feeling to.
Do you think you might not have it anymore? Is that what you mean? Like you thought maybe I can't do it anymore?
Well, I knew I couldn't do it anymore. And I knew I could if I put in the time, but it felt really like, it gets bigger and bigger the further you stay away from it. So you get like more and more intimidated by it. And so, I'd also like built up these things in my head where I was like, oh, if the audience knows me, I go on and I don't do well, that's going to reflect poorly. It's actually interesting to them.
Yeah,
Like,
they don't
if-
give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck.
They wanna
go
watch
up-
you
Yeah.
do it. Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I saw that guy on TV and then I saw him on stage and he didn't have a good set. It was
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And so, what was I going to say? I was going to say something about this.
Why you came back?
I just wanted to be good at it again, and I wanted to have like an hour that I'm like, because I felt like I'd never recorded. I did a special 2013. I'm very proud of it, but when I watch it now, and I watch it every day.
Yeah,
when I watch it
we
now,
all do.
I mean, what else are you gonna do?
In the middle of this podcast, your special is playing in the middle. I hope you
Yeah.
know that. Yeah.
But wait, this
they
is the
can't hear
part.
a word that we're saying.
Please. It's pretty good. When I watch it, I'm like, this doesn't capture me when I was like at my best. Like I remember a time when I was doing stand-up where I felt like I could do well in any room.
Right.
Any crowd, any room, I can kill. I had that feeling, I remember. And then when I wasn't doing it, being like, that must have been a different person. I cannot even access what feeling that must have been like.
Yeah.
When I watched the special, I'm like, that's not me at my best. I'm happy with the material and stuff, but I'm pushing, I'm too loud. It's like that night I was nervous.
It's a special. They're all a little not you.
It wasn't quite me. That's right. It wasn't quite me. So I was like, I want to do it again, and I want to have a special where I really am me on stage.
Oh, that's what you're doing now.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. And it was interesting to sort of figure that out because the performance came back before the writing did. I'd forgotten how to write stand-up. It took a while to remember. And the skill I still don't have completely is, when you go up, you're doing Chicago Theater, 3600, you know how to play that room. You go to Comedy Store, main room, you know how to play that room.
Yeah.
You go to the OR, different room, you know how to play that room. You go to a coffee shop, 20 people, you know how to play that room. That I quite don't have, where you have that feeling of like, oh, you're in this room and you're sort of like, okay, yeah, I know this is a room where I'm louder and more performancey, or this is a room where I'm just talking to people. That, the different kind of rooms thing, I'm realizing that's the skill I don't fully have yet. Again.
You have it. It's just you're getting back to it.
Like I did 2 weekends ago. I did Comedy Works Denver.
Whew, the best.
The best.
The best.
I mean, maybe the best club.
Larimer or the suburbs?
I did
Downtown.
Downtown.
The best, yeah.
Amazing room. 300 people crammed in. You crush every night. It's great.
It is.
And then I did another venue that's a much bigger venue, higher ceilings. It was a music venue. You do that, and you're sort of like, oh, I don't know my rhythm on this in this room yet.
Well, they're so significantly different.
So different.
I mean, it's daunting sometimes because you do go same set, same rhythm. Their rhythm doesn't match the room's rhythm. I needed to just shift the thing. It needs to change.
That's the thing, and you're like, do I slow down, speed up? Like all that stuff was so instinctual, and I'm still getting that back. Isn't it also interesting that it sometimes feels like the audience has like decided altogether, we're gonna be like this time.
I know, it is
like
weird.
You're like, how is everyone here tight?
Yeah.
How is everyone sort of? Did you guys have a meeting before coming
It
here?
transfers in chunks, though. You can almost feel it happening.
Yeah.
And to flip the room, which is the best skill that we can ever have, is some of the hardest shit in the world when they are kind of, I don't know, they're almost semi-disinterested, and then they kind of get it, and then pockets start really enjoying it, so then some other pocket is like,
that's the thing. You get a couple people, you get a couple loud laughers going, and then it could sort of start to like change. Like I did a set, I did an hour, and I didn't get him until the last 15 minutes. This was recently. Until the last 15 minutes. And then I got him, and I was like, I don't know if that's something to be proud of or not. It took me 45 minutes.
You put in the work.
To get them going. I mean, it really did feel like work. Sometimes it doesn't feel like work.
Right.
Comedy works don't feel like work. But sometimes you're like, I did the job of stand-up today.
I worked stand-up today.
Yeah, I worked stand-up
This is stand-up
today.
I worked.
That was like, lunch bail 9 to 5 stand-up set.
With your thermos and coffee.
Yeah.
You're drinking on the way out all defeated in your Timberland boots, wiping the sweat off your neck.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm glad you're back, and I want everyone to please go see you on the road. I imagine your tickets are on your website, and your website is, of course, I support JesseVentura.com. Is that what it is?
Did you see Sid Vicious just died?
Are you serious?
You know who that is? Sid,
Yes,
And then he was Sid Justice for a little bit.
Sid Vicious died today?
Yesterday. He was 63.
This podcast will be out after this have all happened, but my God, what did he die of? I did see the last image I saw of him, video or whatever. He
didn't look like he was going to be long for this world.
Great. Didn't look great. And I mean that in a not judgmental way, like lifestyle trauma. Stuff.
Yeah.
It's
hard.
It looked tough. It looked tough.
I'm friends with a couple wrestlers.
Yeah.
And it is, they talk about, these guys came out and they're good, but they talk about how tough it is.
Yeah. I mean, and a lot of times the addiction that's there and
the addiction. I mean, a lot of addiction.
What is it? It was lung cancer. Jesus. Thanks a lot, McCone.
Okay.
You're such an asshole,
Keep it light. It's the comedy
Good
podcast,
God,
buddy.
dude.
Jesus.
What is your website, by the way, for tickets? So people can
go
buy
to
them?
my Instagram, which is Kumail, Nkumailn, and you can go to my link tree there.
There's a link tree on his Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm sure you follow him if you're listening to the show and you're a fan.
Yeah, I'm doing Philadelphia. I'm doing Austin. I'm doing Minneapolis. I'm doing D.C. I'm doing Phoenix.
Love.
Doing a bunch of rooms.
Valley of the Sun.
Atlanta.
Buckhead Theater. Where are you playing? What Atlanta?
Atlanta. I'm playing.
Who knows?
Tabernacle.
Oh, the Tabby.
Yeah.
We
Do
call
you
it
know
the Tabby.
How is the Tabby?
Great.
Is it?
It's fantastic. Atlanta's one of the best comedy cities I think we've ever played in our entire life. Yeah. Unbelievable, man.
I think
such
Atlanta's
a good city.
a great city.
It's phenomenal.
It's also amazing when you're in Atlanta and you realize how segregated every other city is.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Especially here.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
This one's the best at it.
Chicago.
Well, Chicago was number one for a while. They're losing their
they not?
ranking. They're losing their ranking a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
People are mixing?
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Yeah.
I mean, Chicago truly was like south of downtown.
Yes.
North of downtown.
Yeah. It's still pretty sectioned, but like LA we're probably one of the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're probably one of the
Totally.
worst.
But you go to Atlanta and you're like, this is
Hey,
so
people live
fucking-
amongst each other?
Yeah, it's great.
This is what they were talking about all those years.
Yeah, this is
I
how
love
it should be.
Go to Kumail's link tree, go to his Instagram, and I appreciate you very much coming on the show. It does mean a lot. You're the greatest of all time.
Wow.
Sorry, greatest Pakistani of all time, I should say.
Okay, wow, that's
Okay, look, again, I appreciate you. We end the show the same way. You look into that camera right there. You're single, if you will, actor. And you end the show with one word or a phrase. It used to be a word. If you have something beautiful and prolific, if you want something that can live on the show forever, one word or one phrase, whenever you're ready.
wow.
Yeah, it's going to end the episode, so
Okay.
whenever you're ready.
That's a lot of pressure, isn't
It's
it?
not that big of a deal. You've faced significantly harder pressures.
Okay. Twitter pated.
In here, we pour whisk, 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 whisk.
You were that creature in the ginger beard.
Sturdy and ginger.
Like vampires, the ginger gene is a curse.
Gingers are beautiful.
You owe me $5 for the whiskey and $75 for the horse.
Gingers? Oh, hell no.
This whiskey is excellent.
Ginger. I like gingers.